Hello everybody and welcome to the New Hampshire Business Show. My name is Chris Pastrana and today we have Chad Kozdra with Threatcon 5 Clothing. Welcome to the show, Chad, or welcome back to the show, I should say.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, so for people who didn't see the last one, let's get a quick rundown on a little bit of your past.
Okay. I am a 22-year Army retiree, combat veteran of Afghanistan. Just wanted to do something different in the veteran community, so I started a company that was going to focus on the threats that are affecting the veteran community, and I've been successful in doing that for the last almost 2 years. And a little unique, we're giving back to the veteran community, so there's no profits coming to me. It's all going back to veteran organizations and veterans that are suffering to make ends meet or whatever like that. So.
Okay, awesome, thank you.
Yeah.
So again, thank you for what you do. I think it's phenomenal, and I've always loved your company because of that, and that's why I support you.
I appreciate that.
So let's talk about some of the issues that do kind of plague the veteran community for people who aren't aware of that.
Okay. There's tons of issues that are affecting the veteran community, and it seems as though all of them seem to be definitely wrapped around one specifically, and that's post-traumatic stress, which I know that you're familiar with. A lot of people understand it as PTSD, and I think that of anybody I've heard make this argument for it, the best was former President George Bush, where he said that we're dropping the D because we don't need our veterans out there believing that they have a disorder. Because if you have a disorder, you're obviously not going to reach out or get treatment for it because of the embarrassment or the stigma associated with the post-traumatic situation that you're dealing with. So as a whole, we've kind of tried to drop that the D from post-traumatic stress disorder and focus mostly on just the issue at hand, because the most important thing is getting individuals treatment.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of misdiagnosis of it, rather than an individual having, some issues mentally and being fed a bunch of pills. They have to be, it has to be understood that what they are dealing with is in fact because of something that they've dealt with, whether it be in combat or actually, Chris, if you don't mind, I want to take a step back from that. Because, a lot of people don't understand that post-traumatic stress is not just a military issue. We have firefighters and law enforcement, and anybody that's been in a traumatic event could suffer from this. So we have to make sure that it's diagnosed correctly. And we are finding in the veteran community that a lot of the issues associated with PTS are all wrapped together, and that one underlying circumstances is the reason for everything else. Homelessness, financial issues, not able to keep a job, relationship issues, all this and that. It's all stemming from that experience, the post-traumatic stress experience, and not having it dealt with properly is what's leading to further issues. So I think if we were to, have to put them in order, post-traumatic stress obviously is number one.
Okay. Yeah, because I've been pretty active in that community as well. So as you were saying, like homelessness up to veteran suicide, which is a big thing as well, they all kind of stem from that same problem. Yeah,
the post-traumatic stress. It's leading to this. And that was one of the reasons why I started this company. You have a lot of people out there that are like, oh, we're well past awareness. No, we're not past awareness. If I could walk down the street of the busiest street in America and stop every single individual that I crossed paths with and say to them, hey, can you tell me what the 30 a day is? No, I have no idea. Well, okay, then we haven't made enough of awareness for that.
Yeah.
Okay, well then you explain to them, well, 30 a day, there's up to 30 veterans and active duty service members taking their lives every 24 hours. Oh, well, I didn't know that. Okay, well then we're not past awareness. We have to keep doing that.
Yeah.
And if you push out a number of 78,000 plus, if I bring up the number 78,000 plus to you, do you know what I'm referring to? You don't. It's homelessness. Every given night, there are 78,000 service members living on the streets.
Yeah.
1 out of 4 homeless Americans is a service member.
Okay,
So
wow.
if you figure that number out, 78,000, and that's only a fourth of the number that's living on the street. We have an epidemic. You know, and we have to focus on things like that. You know, so until you can get people to understand exactly what these numbers mean, you're not past awareness. So you have to keep pushing it. And there's a number of people out there, a number of organizations out there that are doing what they can to try to get that awareness out there, you know, through push-up challenges, through different organizations like, if you don't mind me plugging a couple of them. Okay, Paddle for Patriots, a organization in which they're going to get in a kayak and literally paddle,
I like that, yeah.
you know, through, you know, 22,000 miles of lakes within this, lakes, rivers, whatever, in this country to bring awareness to the number of soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines that are taking their lives post-military service. You have organizations like 22 Killed, 22 Until None, that are out there trying to bring awareness to these issues. And sadly, you know, 22 is the number that we're identifying right now.
Yeah.
But, you know, a lot of states aren't reporting them accurately. Some of them are listed as accidents instead of suicides. So a rough guesstimate is that it's probably closer to 36. But, you know, the number one number in all that is 1. 1 is just too many, you know, and we have to do something about it, you know. We can't allow for our American servicemen and women to suffer so bad that they feel like the easiest way out is just take their lives.
Yeah.
You know, they deserve better, and that's what we need to do. We need to focus on their issues and set forth something in place to help them deal with them in order to live a better life.
Yeah, because it's clearly getting dropped somewhere. Like,
oh yeah.
Something's not happening, that these things aren't being addressed. And as you had mentioned earlier, the way it's talked about can be stigmatized a lot, from just how they're treated across the board. So like something's missing.
Yeah, certainly. And it's sad too, because, you know, we have tried to readjust the focus in a number of ways. You know, everybody wants to throw this "I got your 6" out there, and a lot of the civilian population, they don't understand what we mean by that. But, you know, I've got your 6, I got your back. You know, it's one thing to say it, but it's another thing to actually do it.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, we've started pushing a new saying, and it's "forget your 6." It's actually another word, but we can't use that one. Forget your 6, I've got point. All right, because we in the military, we know, all right, we've been in leadership positions, we've had to lead soldiers in combat, we've had to lead them in garrison, and, you know, what's important is to take point, to teach them, or not maybe necessarily in this situation teaching them, but, you know, taking point and not waiting for them to reach out for assistance.
Yeah.
We all know who suffers. You know, you see it in their social media posts, you see it in the way that they're acting. You know, don't wait for them to become a statistic. Take point and reach out to them. Just, I mean, as simple as making a phone call.
Yeah.
You know, hey Chris, how you doing today? Well, you know, I'm not really doing that great. Let me come over. Let's go do something. You know, because in all of it, it's very simple. Find a coping mechanism. You know, which I should take that back. It's not that simple, you know, because if it was, it'd already be taken care of.
Yeah.
But I mean, the biggest aspect of it is just getting a coping mechanism, finding something that makes you happy, something that allows you to take your mind off that issue that's making everything in your life so difficult, and refocus it. And if we could do that, you know, one at a time, get these individuals to realize that, yes, it does suck. And what you went through is a very real thing, but you can get through it.
Yeah.
And I'm here to help you. And that's where I've got, you know, I'm taking point, I got point is coming from, you know. And don't get me wrong, the I Got Your 6 campaigns are great. You know, I mean, if the people that are following it are actually doing it, you know. I mean, because it's one thing to say, oh, I've got your 6, until you actually need me. And then I will be nowhere around. Yeah. You know, I mean, because any way you look, I mean, it doesn't matter if it was the military or Burger King or Subway or Walmart, you're going to come across people that are just all talk. You know, it's human nature.
Yeah.
You know, what makes me look good at this particular moment? So we have to get past that, and we have to focus on positives rather than negatives.
I really like that, because I've been doing a lot of research on my own spare time, and things like surfing and meditation have shown to have great effects on PTS and things like that. So I think that's a really good point you made about finding something else to help you through it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, find something
Absolutely.
positive.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Mine's been going to the gym.
Yeah.
I mean, you find a way of just refocusing your mental health and your physical health to achieve a same goal. And you'll see a lot of individuals are pushing the yoga, to be able to center yourself.
Yeah.
And there's actually some organizations out there that are actually pushing veterans and service members alike to just get out there and be a little bit more active through organizations that offer free yoga programs, through organizations that offer free memberships to gyms. And believe it or not, there's a lot of those popping up where an organization will just, hey, I know you suffer from post-traumatic stress, so I want to get you in the gym. So I'm going to give you a membership. We're going to get you in there. We're going to get you focused on, making yourself feel better physically. And believe it or not, you're going to come back and realize that not only are you getting better physically, but you're also getting better mentally. And it's working, but it's not working fast enough.
Yeah. Understood.
Yeah.
So I guess we can switch a little bit because earlier we kind of talked about PTS is something that doesn't just affect veterans, because it is a broad thing that affects everyone who's been through a very stressful event, very traumatic, and then they deal with it moving forward.
Right.
And I remember beforehand we kind of talked about shifting focus, and you're kind of expanding that as well. So you want to talk about a little what you're doing there?
Oh yeah. You have to understand that, issues like post-traumatic stress don't know a color, they don't know a religion, they don't know a gender, they don't know a profession. So it doesn't matter that if you were military or what, you can be affected by something like this just as easy as somebody that is just an everyday Joe on the street, okay? So what I've started to do is I'm starting to really focus on people pushing it as the issue as an entity for America, because it's an American issue, and our president is pushing that too, America first, and I solely believe that we don't have a veteran homeless issue, we have an American homeless issue. We don't have a veteran post-traumatic stress issue, we have an American post-traumatic stress issue.
Yeah.
Because these are issues that if we can all come together and realize that regardless of your race, your gender, your religious background, we are Americans, and we're supposed to care for one another.
Yeah.
We have to end this hate. And if focusing on making your neighbor better, making your friend and family better, is what's going to put us over the top, then so be it. Like I said, there's 78,000 service members living on the street. That's only a fourth of the number. I'm awful at math, but I mean, if we figure it out, what, 75, 150, 300,000 plus individuals living on the street every night.
Yeah, it's like a whole city. Or
yeah, I mean, that's a good portion of New Hampshire if you think about it. I mean, so there's 300,000 plus people living on the street every night, and we're worrying about, should we allow refugees in this country? No, we shouldn't. We should be focusing on the American issues. We should focus on things that are going to bring us together and make our nation stronger. And, whether it be through PTS, whether it be through homelessness, whether it be through suicides, whether it be through bullying, whatever it needs to be, we need to focus on the American issues. Because guess what happens when you do that? You're also helping the veteran community.
Yeah.
Because when one organization gets stronger, every subsidiary of that organization gets stronger as well. So if America gets stronger, so does our veteran community and all the citizens of the country. So we have to focus on things that are important as a whole rather than segregating. I mean, we're past that. We're supposed to be past that, right? So.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. That's a good point. Because definitely focusing on the whole, like that, I don't want to call it trickle down, but, it does kind of start working on different levels too, and I think that's important. Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty cool. So what are you guys doing for that? Because I know you have a show that you talk once a week for. Are you active in places? Are we?
I am. I'm active in a few organizations. We, I do have my radio show, and the idea behind that show is to just bring laughter, because what's the one thing that can bring people together? Laughing, So, we have that show, and we're trying to get out to veterans and patriots and, just, people that care about their fellow man. And, we do that. I'm also involved in an organization called All Vets Advocate. They are really pushing a lot of the issues that are plaguing the veteran community, where you have some organizations that are just, we're going to focus on the veteran suicide issue, or we're going to focus on homelessness. This organization's focusing on all of them, and they're just focusing on every aspect of the issues affecting the veteran community. Thank you. So they're focusing on that. I'm also involved in an organization that's pushing to find missing people.
Okay.
And that's not just veterans. There's a lot of people in this country that are missing. An individual that suffers from a mental issue or Alzheimer's or something like that, they go missing. And this organization focuses on getting with the family and, finding out as much as they can about the individual, where they would be, what they might be doing. And, they activate police forces and whatever, and they get out there and they find him. Unfortunately, we're not able to find all of them safely. Some of them, have expired and what have you. But I just want to be involved. So every aspect of things that could be affecting, whether it be the veteran community or the civilian population, I want to do what I can to help out. So I have a voice in the veteran community. I have a voice to be able to, get that word out there, so I'm using it. Yeah,
and I like that. Something me and my friends have talked about is just because we're out of the military now, because we both served, just because we're out of the community, out of the military, doesn't mean we want to stop helping the community.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And that's important to me as well as yourself. And
yeah,
so.
And I think you hit the nail on the head there too, because that's exactly the point. Why we need to focus on American issues as a whole, because we didn't serve our country because we were looking for college money, or some did, but for the most part, if you enlisted over the last 17 years, you enlisted during a time of war. You knew that there was a possibility of going to serve either in Iraq or Afghanistan. So you join the military to serve your nation. And when you get out, it doesn't mean that you stop. We use our oath never expires. So serving the people of the United States, looking out for their best welfare is always going to be something that you're going to push to do. And you see a lot of these stories out there where, a decorated master sergeant just lost his life jumping into a moving river to save a little girl. He saved the little girl, unfortunately lost his life doing it. You've seen individuals that have served any capacity, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine, former police officers, firefighters, whatever, that will run into a burning house to bring, the people out, because they've already made it clear in their mind that, their life may be not as important as somebody else's, and we've taken that oath to protect and serve or defend the Constitution. So it is what it is.
That's good.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay. So I'm not sure what else to go from there. So I guess thank you so much for having on the show. And where can we find more from you? Like website?
Threatcon5clothing.com. It's should be listed underneath my name. I'm also a joker, as you know that. My radio show is all humor. So Threatcon 5 Radio, Veteran Radio Syndicate, social media sites. You can just search my name or search my company, and I'm always there, readily available to help in any way possible. If I can't make that any more clear. If if somebody's struggling, please reach out, either to me or another organization that can assist, because every life's important.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being on the New Hampshire Business Show today, and until next week.